Welcome to another episode of the Nashville Dads. This week we talk about sports, horses, pulling yourself out of a negative spiral, and communicating with your partner. We hope you enjoy.
Warmer weather is coming, man.
It is.
You know what that means?
No, what? March Madness?
We got to get that dad walk.
Oh, the dad walk, not basketball. Got it.
Or basketball.
Different. Yeah, we could do a dad walk that ends in watching March Madness.
That's right. We are going to watch March Madness. We have to. Kentucky's going to go all the way.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it. At least you went to Kentucky. You know, like you have a reason to be a diehard Kentucky fan. Heather went to Kansas. And I did not go to Indiana. I am the only one I have two siblings. I'm the only one who hasn't gone to IU. So, but I cheer for IU because of that. And Heather's always like, yeah, but you have to cheer for Kansas. And I'm like, no. I want to cheer for Indiana. And she's like, got to cheer for Kansas. So it's an ongoing, like, I'll be like, I want to buy the kids some IU clothes. And she's like, but you didn't go there. We're going to buy them Kansas stuff.
Dang.
And I'm like, I mean, granted though, a Jayhawk does look cuter on a kid than like the IU pitchfork. So like... She's not wrong.
That red and white is kind of
you mean crimson and cream.
Or whatever.
It's fine. It's fine. But yes, no, it's getting a lot warmer out. Yeah, dad walking. It is really pretty out right now. It's like 55 degrees.
Let's go.
And super nice. Yeah, okay. And now we're going to see if I can carry a laptop and a microphone and walk at the same time.
Let's do it.
Here we go. This will be in the field.
But yeah, let's talk more about that. Let's get some other guys going. I think we've got 6, 7 guys in our neighborhood that we could start.
I think they'd be willing to.
Saturday mornings, 9:00.
Yeah, that'd be good. I think that's right whenever Josh takes a nap, so I'll just strap him in a carrier, start walking. Walking. Ideally, he would sleep at home and not being held. And then Heather could do whatever while he sleeps, but there's never a guarantee. Yeah. Have you had that happen where like, all right, Ada's asleep. I'm going to go run an errand real quick and come back. She's going to sleep the whole time I'm gone. Yeah. And then you leave and it's like, yeah, she woke up 2 seconds when you closed the door and she woke up. And you're like, well, that backfired. Never mind.
Yeah, we've got the baby tracker app. So it notifies you when like she's up or like if I'm not home, Haley's here, she'll say, okay, Ada's up. It'll notify me if I'm out of the house. So yeah, plenty of times where I leave the house, especially in the morning when I go to work. I'm like, yes, I made it out without waking her up. And then I'm like halfway down the street and I get the notification that she just woke up and I'm like, dang,
come on, man. I'm trying here. I feel like you can only use that app with one kid. Like, if you had more than one kid, I feel like that app would just make me anxious at all times. Because it'd be like, this kid's awake, this kid's awake, this kid's asleep, this kid's... I'd be like, nope, stop.
For you guys, I think that would...
it's just...
drive you insane.
It would. I think it would just make me... It's kind of how, like, if you get a bunch of... If you're in a group text and you, like, look down and you have 30 notifications, and it's just, like, people saying one comment and then, like, 20 people liking it on that. But you look at it and you're like, I'm so anxious. What happened? Like, I didn't look at my phone for 5 minutes.
Yeah, notifications and... text messages, like when a text chain goes on, you set your phone down for 5 minutes and then you look back and you're like, 7 messages.
I missed everything.
What did I miss?
What happened? Who's dead?
And I've always have the fear of missing out. So I'm like, oh man,
what happened?
And I'm like, oh, what did I miss?
And then it's just like nothing. It's literally someone being like, yeah, we'll be there at 5, and someone being like, that's cool, and then someone being like, oh, we're gonna be a little late. Yeah. And you're like, that's
the anxiety of seeing how many texts I missed is more than the anxiety of the actual issue at hand.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I think your phone almost gives you like a false responsibility of you should be available at all times. So whenever you look down and you're like, oh, I wasn't available, it does make you feel almost like, wait, but I have this phone for availability and I wasn't available. Or it's like a weird, like, something to get over because it doesn't matter. I've never had someone like not respond to a text and be like, how dare you?
We went to a guy's night with a group of friends two weeks ago, and my friend Chris was like, why do I always get notifications that you've read my text message or something? Like, I don't know.
I don't know, man.
And apparently there is a setting for that.
Yeah, read receipts. Yeah.
The read receipts. And I was like, oh, I never set that up, or at least I didn't think I set it up.
Yeah, right?
He was like, you always want to know what I'm doing. It's like, I had no idea.
You know what? I think I only turned read receipts on for like 2 people.
Yeah.
Like Heather, and that's probably it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's different. Like for me to be like, hey, kid just woke up. Or like if I'm downstairs and I'm like, hey, Josh woke up. He'll probably want to eat soon. Because he doesn't take a bottle. He still just breastfeeds. Then it's like different. If I like shoot her a text and it doesn't say read, like 20 minutes later, I'm going to send her another text and be like, hey, I just want to make sure you know he's probably going to want to eat soon.
Yeah.
But if it says read, I'm like, cool, I'm not going to bother you. You're in a meeting and you can't respond. That's what you just told me. So read receipts. Use wisely.
Use it wisely.
Use wisely. What's, all right, our two grounded questions. Something that brought you joy, something that was harder than you thought it would be. What's something that brought you joy since last time we talked? I could go first also if you want me to.
I can go.
Go.
I'll go. Something that brought me joy was hiking the last couple of times with Ada.
Oh, that's cute.
We've gone to Radnor Lake and then to Percy Warner.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun. I mean, she's still at that young age where we have to go on the paved and we just have the stroller. Yeah. But I bought one of those Osprey backpack carriers.
Yes.
So I am super stoked to try that out.
There are some paths on Radnor though where I would not want to, like the whatever the like really high up one is, I would not want to have a baby on me for that one. I don't know if I'm just weak and scared or what, but
weak and brittle.
Weak and brittle. But even walking up that by myself, Heather and I, like a year before having Josh, we would do that where we would like go walk Radnor or something, and we'd walk up while the kids were at like school, and I'd be like walking up there trying to hold a conversation, like okay. No, yeah, this week I've got, I'll pick up the kids, 3. So doing that with the kid on me, trying to make sure they stay asleep, I'm like, no, this isn't going to turn out well.
But that just builds up your stamina, man.
Is that how it works?
You got to just keep going.
Oh, I thought when things got hard, you just bailed. Is that
Good motivation,
Good
Devin.
motivation. Something's hard. Why try?
Just let it go.
Just let it go. I'm just trying to be very zen here, run into conflict, let it go.
Well, no, see you later.
We also love that. Before I came over, I took the girls to Ellington Agricultural so we could walk around and look at the horses that are there. So I don't know, just feel like being able to get outside with kids always lends to better.
And that is cool. You probably need to tell everybody about those horses.
Oh yeah, it's the police horses. It's like the horses that they I think have downtown. That's where they live whenever they aren't like on patrol.
I had no idea.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I've been there many a times and had never seen the horses and the barns or structures.
Yeah.
Never really knew what some of them were except for the main campus where I had to take tests.
Heather did the Master Gardener class of Davidson County during COVID or during lockdown because it was all online classes, so super easy for her to do. She'd just like go upstairs and do that for like 2 hours or something like that. So they did like an in-person meeting like last year, and so I just walked around with the kids while she was doing that. And I was like, we walked up to a barn and like, oh, these are horses. And there are signs that are like, these are the police horses. This is where they live whenever they aren't here, whenever they aren't out on patrol. So
I had no idea.
Yeah, it's really cool.
That is cool. I'm going to have to check it out.
Yeah, you should.
Because that will be something cool to take the kids to.
Yeah.
I would love it. Oh, horses.
Yeah. Did you grow up with horses?
No.
Okay. I feel like I had insanely rich friends who had horses, and they weren't really my friends. They were like friends of friends. So I feel like I knew what horses were, but not like, I'm going to go ride a horse. Summer camp. Yeah, sure. But horses are pretty cool. Like
my parents owned one.
Oh, did they?
Oh, like before I was born.
Yeah.
But they had it for, I think, a few years. My sister got to ride it once or twice or maybe a couple of times. And then I think they sold it because it was expensive to have somebody else take care of it. And
well, you can't just like casually have a horse. Like it's not like an animal you can forget about. It's like you got to have a barn for it. Like, there's a lot of.
We had no place for it. We lived in the suburbs.
Yeah, there's a lot of upkeep for a horse. Yeah, and I feel like you have to really like. I don't know. I feel like if you like horses or you have a horse, it's because you're obsessed with horses. I don't feel like it's a casual like pet interest. It's not the equivalent to a goldfish.
But yeah, a lot of money you have to have for that kind of thing.
There are some things like Holly has a natural interest in horses, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
And I know there are like horse camps where you can like go for a week, ride horses, learn a lot about them. And I feel like it is so expensive to do, or I'm like, how far down this rabbit hole do we go? Like, is it just like hey, you get to do that for a week during the summer? Yeah. Like, do we start going to horse stuff? Like,
she's going to be asking for a pony for her birthday soon.
Yeah. Yeah. We, I think last summer we went down to Lucky Lad Farms because they had Unicorn Day.
Yeah.
So you got to pet a unicorn and you got to ride ponies as part of it also. And they still talk about it insanely positively. So
yeah.
it's really cool.
Have you gone horseback riding around here?
I haven't. Literally last time I rode a horse would have been like probably in middle school or high school at like a summer camp. Okay. So I haven't rode a horse in quite a while.
There's a few that are probably like on the outskirts of Nashville.
Yes.
But a few small places, and you can look them up on Groupon.
Yeah.
That's where I went when I think it was the weekend after proposing to Haley. We went on a horseback riding
cute.
Tour, and like it was with a whole bunch of other people as well. But it was kind of intimate because afterwards, the owners of the farm cooked you dinner.
Oh, that's cool.
So like you got to go on the horseback ride, and then after that, got to sit down like family style meal. Got
that's
to talk
really
to
fun.
Strangers you didn't know. So I thought that was pretty cool.
That's a cool time.
Definitely want to go back. It's been a while.
Is that like, I feel like whenever I looked up horse stuff, almost everything was like an hour outside of town.
Yeah, it was probably like 45 minutes to an hour outside of Nashville. But I mean, it wasn't an all day affair.
Yeah.
You're on the horseback for maybe 2 to 4 hours, and then another hour or two eating, and then you're back. So like a half a day at max.
Yeah, that's cool.
Driving an hour away, not that bad.
No, I mean, you're already going to make a whole day out of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But I had a lot of fun doing that.
Yeah, that's cool.
I want to do it
cute.
again. Definitely want to take Ada if we can.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Let's see. Thing for me that brought me joy. I did. A friend and I went ahead and bought Nashville Soccer Club tickets.
Yes.
Which is super exciting because the first home opener I think is like May 3rd. I always try to get the kids to watch soccer because I grew up playing soccer and I enjoy soccer. Whenever, okay, let me do the math here. I think whenever Holly was born was whenever the World Cup, or was it the Euro? Let me think. It was the Euro. So whenever Holly was born, the Euro was happening, which is like the European Championship League. So I bought her like a Germany soccer jersey. So there's a picture of her whenever she's like 3 months old wearing it. And then whenever Magnolia was born, when it was the same year that the World Cup happened. So she wore that jersey whenever she was wearing it. So
Germany?
I like Germany.
You like Germany?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do. I have a Germany Euro jersey from last year.
Are you German?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Nissen.
Yeah.
That's okay.
There you go.
Yep.
All right.
So, no, it feels silly to say I like Germany because Germany is usually really successful. So I feel like it is almost like, you like Germany, you just blah, blah, blah,
You're
blah.
on the bandwagon.
Yeah, basically. And I'm like, no, I really like...
Dude, I like Kentucky.
But you went to Kentucky. It's very different. But like, whenever I didn't start watching the World Cup until like I graduated high school in 2006. And in 2010, Germany had like 4 World Cups in a row in which they did like insane. They like lost in the semifinals like 4 times, like 3 times in a row, and then finally won. Yeah. So like watching all those players over all that time, because America is always disappointing. So
it's just not our sport.
It's not. I still love them. I still support them. I love Clint Dempsey from those years a lot.
And it's not like they're bad.
They're not bad. It's just everyone else is so insanely
Europe
good.
And everybody else is just on a different level, it seems like.
But I'm hoping that to be able to take the girls to like a game or two. And Heather started trying to make, she decided to make kombucha or to start it from scratch. So we're pretty big on like trying to do our own, like we're trying to have our own hobbies and interests so our girls can see us be like interested in stuff. Yeah. And hopefully it makes them excited about stuff or like
podcasting.
Like podcasting. I didn't mention, but since the last time we met, Heather made the girls listen to the podcast and then they just laughed at it and laughed at my voice the entire time. So
I'm surprised they didn't laugh at mine.
No.
I cringe whenever I listen to it.
But yeah, I like came home and they're like, "Daddy, we heard your voice." And I was like, is that a positive thing or a bad thing?
Kids can be ruthless.
Oh, man. They really can be.
And they know where to hit you.
They do every time. Just wait until Ada can talk.
Oh, gosh.
But yeah, so we're pretty big on like hopefully having our own interests, having our own hobbies. And then whenever the girls are like, I'm interested in this, we're like, yeah, let's do it. Like I'll drive you to Ellington Agriculture so you can go look at horses because you want to check out books on horses. So like let's take your curiosity and expand on it. Yeah. And try to let you know this is a cool thing to do.
That's awesome. That's a great idea.
Yeah, you know what?
Great philosophy.
Hopefully. But what's something that was harder or more frustrating since we met up last?
Well, not really anything harder or frustrating, but more something I'm struggling with is, and this is about to get real, depression, stress, and anxiety. With my job, like it's already extremely stressful, and then I get really anxious and uptight, but having a kid made it even harder, not just on work, but just in life in general. And then when Ada was sick and her being up almost every night, 15 minutes, 5 minutes every night, and then having to go to the doctors multiple times, and she still has an ear infection, so we have to go into an ENT in a week.
No.
But
I hope she doesn't have to get like tubes put in her ears or anything.
That's probably what we're going to have to. Yeah. But all of that has just drained me. Yeah. And it just felt like a totally different person. Definitely more irritable, and definitely just easier to get anger. To get angry. And Haley was just like, all right, you need to speak to somebody. You need to talk to somebody. If it's family, friends, or like an actual professional in general, just you need to start speaking to somebody. Because I'm one of those guys that just likes to hold it in and then I explode. Yeah. But yeah. So if anybody else is experiencing that, you're not alone.
Yeah, definitely.
And definitely speak to somebody. Doesn't have to be professional.
Yeah. What was your solution? What did you go to a counselor, if I can ask? What game plan did you create to hopefully make things a little bit better?
Well, I'm more open with her, and then I've talked to friends.
Okay.
And then yes, I'm working on trying to find a therapist.
Cool.
So,
if I think about counseling, if I am not willing to go to therapy, it means I have an expectation of myself that I should be able to figure out things on my own, that I should know how to process life. I should know how to process my feelings. I should know how to deal with the hardships of life without any help. Yep. And I think that's really unrealistic expectation.
Yeah.
But I have that expectation for myself that anything I run into, I should be able to handle, and I shouldn't need help. And that's not good. That's it's not realistic. It's not helpful, and it shuts a lot of people out.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully you find a counselor who you connect with. Yeah, I think the first kid has so many moments in it where I don't know if it's control issues or what it is, where you just look up and you're like, how do I do this? Yeah, it's kind of how you feel, right?
Well, I mean, your whole entire life changes.
Yeah,
and then for me, it's always been when I get the lack of sleep. Sleep deprived. Yeah. Then I start going down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you can't recharge. There's no. You need like a break. You need like a break of some sort where you can actually like recharge or reset your mind.
Yeah, and what really I think kickstarted it was when like we had those snow events, and usually those snow events like I don't get any sleep because we plow and spread ice melt at
But you do it like 4 or 5 a.m., right?
Oh, we do it at 1 o'clock sometimes. Yeah. It's whatever time the snow is going to be coming, we're going to be coming. There. So getting that lack of sleep, and then usually whenever I get back from those snow events, like I'm passed out for at least a day or two to recharge our batteries. And it wasn't like that at all with having her, because I didn't want to be like, Haley, you've been... alone with her while I've been out working for the past couple of days. Well, see you later. I'm going to go sleep for another couple of days as well. Yep. No, I'm going to try to do my best to help out. Of course. But yeah, it was just a spiral after that. And and the amount of anger that I was portraying was getting out of hand.
That stinks.
Yeah.
What do you feel like normally makes you feel recharged?
Hiking,
cool.
Or playing basketball, or I was telling Haley, anything like just physical exertion. I was like, maybe boxing, where I just want to
Maybe.
hit something. It doesn't have to be hit somebody. I could just hit a bag, or jiu-jitsu or something like that, to where just if I'm just feeling drained, spiraling out of control, sitting on the couch is going to just make it worse and worse. Or scrolling on the phone. Man, you don't really know how much how depressed or lonely you can feel just scrolling through that phone, seeing all the positive things
I think
from others, and be like, oh, well, why can't I have that?
Numbness, I think, is a feeling that I hope we're able to discuss more as a society. Because I feel like in those moments, what I feel is numb. And then I want to numb more. Like it takes a lot of inertia to go from, I want to numb myself to like, I want to feel energized. Like, numbness I think is really dangerous because there's like this weird like comfort to it. There's this weird just like zone to it where you don't even realize that you're numb to anything anymore.
Yep.
And that's really scary. It's kind of like if you go to the dentist and you have dental work done, they're like, don't chew on the side of your mouth because you're going to bite through your lip. You don't know what you're doing. And so if you are emotionally numb to something, you'll keep on doing stuff and be like, oh, I'm hurting myself. And I don't realize it.
Self-hurting yourself.
And I don't know I'm doing it because I haven't even acknowledged that I'm numb yet. And then you also have the fun of like your wife looking and being like, what are you like? Are you okay? And you're like, I didn't realize how not okay I was until we had this conversation. Yeah. And I feel shame and embarrassed that I wasn't able to properly identify myself or to avoid you having to have a conflict with me or like a come to Jesus moment with me so I get my stuff together. But here we are. And thank you for loving me and still wanting to like me, even though I'm doing this. But I'd rather not be doing this to you.
Yeah. And that right there, the communication of saying exactly what you're saying to your loved one, that helps her understand where you're coming from.
Of course.
Even though you'd already done it and you're saying, sorry, this is the reason why I did it. And me and Haley had an experience like that a couple of days ago. I got upset, got frustrated for some idiotic reason. Yeah. And then I was like, why did I get so upset about that? And I meditated and self-reflected and was like, okay, now I know.
Yeah.
And then I went to her and I was like, I understand why I was upset. It was definitely not correct or right of me to do that, and I'm sorry, but that was just self-reflection.
Of course.
You figure out what's going on in your life or what's going on in your head.
Yep. Yeah, I feel like I've said the phrase multiple times before, like, I'm sorry, that's what I was communicating. I did not mean to be communicating this.
Yep.
How do I make it better? Because I didn't know I was communicating that. I didn't mean to communicate that. How do I make my communication more open to you so I don't do this again? Because ultimately, I don't want to communicate things that I can't. You can only be so self-aware. And I think that sucks. You can only be so self-aware of what you're doing to the people around you. And hopefully you weren't too much of a jerk in the process.
Yep.
And then whenever you find out you are, it's like, oh, crap.
Sorry, I'm a jerk.
Sorry. I didn't want to be this person. But, yeah, that stinks.
Well, good.
I mean, my meh thing was just that it rained and was cold all week. So not nearly the same thing. I'm just stuck inside a house with like kids and I'm like, can you go outside?
Well, hey, I mean, that's can be depressing as well and like make you anxious. I need sunlight. I need fresh air.
I believe in change of scenery. I think makes a big difference. So whenever you're inside with a 4-year-old who's starting to get like just snippy or snappy at stuff, and you're like, oh, what you need is a change of scenery, and then you go outside and it's like 32 degrees out and raining, and you're like, I can't really go out here. So what do? I'm gonna go back inside with a kid. All right, never mind.
What is there to do with either a toddler or like say a 2 to 4-year-old that we could do inside on rainy days besides staying inside the house?
I don't know. Because almost everything else includes spending money, and I like to go out and get a treat or something like that. Gotcha. Like, oh, let's go to a coffee shop and get a muffin, and it's like, well, I don't want to. Like, that's cute, but like, I also don't want it to be like, hey, it's raining, now we go eat sugar. Like, I don't want to set that precedent.
Here's a treat.
Yeah, basically. But I think it's harder, not so much to think of what you can do inside, but harder to think, what can I do inside that's like free or like doesn't cost money? Now that I'm a cheapskate, but that I don't want to be like, now we're gonna go to Walmart and buy coloring pages. Like, oh, so every time it rains, we get to do this, and I'm like, no, I don't want to. How do you how do you create a creative energy with your kids so they help you figure out what you can do since you can't do so much? How do you do that?
Yeah.
So I feel like that's more where the challenge comes from.
Yeah.
Is how do we still make today fun, even though most of the stuff that would be fun, really easy to get lost in, isn't an option right now.
Yeah.
So,
man, I wish like the skating rinks would be free.
Oh, I know, right? Yeah. That would be cool.
I am just so looking forward to it. Just going back to a skating rink.
What?
Oh, man.
Skating?
Yeah.
Do you mean like roller skating or ice skating or skateboarding?
Both. Roller skating or ice skating.
I have the worst balance ever.
Oh my gosh.
I would no.
You would topple over?
I would just topple over.
Oh, well then
immediately.
You got to go with me.
Have you ever seen like a
so
deer run through the woods? That's what I feel like I look like whenever I walk.
Oh gosh. You got to come. I got to be there to watch.
Oh, no thank you. I'm good.
Oh man, I had so much fun in high school.
Did you?
That. High school and middle school, elementary school. Yeah, I think it was called Jimmy's Roller Dome that we would go to.
That's fun.
Yeah. And then I know that there's one on 65 in Brentwood.
Yeah, there is.
But I don't want to be that creepy 37-year-old that goes roller skating.
Yes. Also, just maybe you reminded me about you talking about depression and new anxiety from caring for a kid. You had Ada whenever you were 37. Is that right? Or were you 36?
I was 36. It was a month before I turned 37.
That's right. So in my mind, you had 36 years of not having this stress. So you had like 36 years of knowing how you thought your life looked. Yep. And in literally like in one instant, all of your priorities have to shift. So you're like reworking your brain basically and telling it like, hey, I know this is where I gravitate towards. This is what I think is I can do and everything. Now all this has to be reset. So I feel like there's like a ton of internal conflict that comes from that. I think we had our first kid whenever we were 28. And even at 28, it was still like, wait, I can't be as selfish. Wait, I can't do as much stuff for myself that I want to. Wait, I can't make you feel better because I want you to be better. Like I have to go to doctor visits with you and try to hope that this doctor knows what they're doing. And maybe you don't get better. Maybe all this happens. I can't control any of this. So I feel like there's a lot of like your own natural inertia that you're also working against, in which you have to almost like retrain your brain to think like, my daughter is sick. It does take more than one doctor visit. My job is insane right now. Everything will be okay. Like you haven't had enough examples to yourself to know that like your kid being sick and your job being insane, you're going to survive. Like you're going to be okay. Like this is the first time in your life you've had your personal life insanely spinning out of control with a small child and your work life demanding everything of you. And you've still got to like tell your brain, like, I can survive this. I'm going to be okay. And until like, you almost have to like get that groundwork laid of like, you're going to be okay. You've got this.
I never thought of that.
Hey, there you go. But that's like whenever one of our kids is sick or something like that, we're like, okay, we've seen this before. We've experienced this before. It'll be insane. We can do this. We can experience. We've got this. But whenever it's the first time it's happened, you're like, wow, I don't know how to react to any of this.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, you're totally right.
Because I've never done this.
Yeah.
And what are you doing? Whenever you have a kid, it's like, let me think of the best way to phrase this. Whenever you have a kid, suddenly all of your like actions are, a small human is like, you're accountable for them.
Uh-huh.
So like whatever you do, you're not just affecting yourself and Haley anymore.
Yeah.
Like in life, you go from like all my actions only negative affect me. Okay, cool. I know how to deal with this. Okay, now I'm married. Okay, now they negative affect me and my wife. Okay, cool. I got to relearn some stuff. Okay, now they negatively affect me, my wife, and my daughter. Okay, now it's like just all new ways of learning how much your anger, your undercurrents and stuff like that can really affect the people around you. And you've got to learn, like now you know a little bit more of like, okay, cool. I need to talk to some friends. I need to do some more mindful minutes, and I need to recenter, because whenever I don't like who I become.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like laying the groundwork in your brain of how to actually trust that you can do that.
Yeah.
So hopefully next time everything spins out of control, Haley can look at you and be like, hey, this is just like last time.
Yeah.
I would hope that in my own marriage, there are times now where Heather's like, no, you're too stressed. You need to take time to do stuff. And hopefully now I'm more receptive to it as opposed to being just defensive. Yep. I know I'm still defensive because I don't want to be.
Yep.
But hopefully I've had enough examples of being like, nope, you're right. I need to stop.
Yeah.
And then I stop.
Yeah. There have been times where Haley has done that. And times where I will be holding Ada. She'll see that I'm getting...
Yes. I know what moment you're talking about.
And then she'll be like, all right, I need to take her.
You go somewhere else
You go somewhere else.
Yes. And I'm like, I'm fine.
Yes, exactly. And she's like, no, you're not.
You're not.
Let me take her. You go off and relax. And the times that, and that was one of the arguments that we had that I talked about earlier, but meditation, man, that really helped me out a lot.
Good.
Just taking time to
Zoom
reflect, get out of your head a little bit, and just relax.
Yeah.
And then I came back realizing what I did, apologizing, and then like I have that constant self-awareness of, okay, if you're ever going to get into that, stop, breathe, and push yourself out of that moment.
But it doesn't, like, even still, like, I could go home after recording this podcast and still have a moment in which I'm holding a kid. I need to not be holding a kid. And Heather be like, give me the kid, and be like, no, I'm fine.
Yep.
Like, even though
because we're human.
Yeah, I know that's what version of myself I can become. I still am bad at recognizing in the moment I need to not be doing this.
But at least you're recognizing it sometimes.
Sometimes, not all the time. I'm not going to act like I'm good at that.
Yeah, I don't think anybody will be able to recognize it every single time, though.
If they can, major cred, major props.
But right now, I think I hear my kid crying.
You hear a kid crying? We better go.
That's right.
We really hope you enjoyed that episode. Please make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Nashville Dads. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll catch you next time.